Okay, so I want to come up in on here today and post up a video. Now I got a few things I want to talk about here. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Okay, when it comes to the incel, as you see this in your face, okay, the incel community and the stuff I've already showed you, well, I'm not going to back down on what I'm saying. I've always been somebody that follows my gut, follows my instinct. And so far throughout my life, when I followed my gut and followed my instinct, it hasn't let me down. It really hasn't. And I can't tell anybody else what to think and what to feel, and I'm not going to try. Okay, I'm not even going to go there with them. You know, I know what I see. And yeah, there's a lot of things I would like to be wrong about, and I have no problems with being wrong because we're all human beings, and we all have our own opinions, and all of us can say things that isn't accurate, and all of us will at times do that. Okay? Some more than others, of course. You know, but overall, I'm a very honest man. Yeah. I have well, I don't know how to say it to you other than I have a skill I've had my whole life since a child for being able to know things I shouldn't know ahead of time. Don't ask me where it comes from, it's just something I've always had. And when my intuition and my gut screams at me, I follow. I do not go any other direction. It's never really let me down. So, you know, and when you're waking up to a lot of what's going on in the world, there's so much propaganda being spilled by so many people. And then there's also one hell of a lot of truth as well. But man, you got to dig for it. You really do. And the truth is being scrubbed off the net regularly as it comes up. They're scrubbing it because they don't want people hearing it. That's what censorship's about. It's about shutting people up. The incel thing, well, that I don't want to see happen, but when you really pay attention, if you're awake, it is somebody just claiming to be awake, okay, and saying you have all these years of research behind you, but you don't have the knowledge that comes from having all these years of research, then it becomes questionable. And I've seen this happen with a lot of different people. And I can only say this. Incel came out of a university and came from a female. A woman who couldn't get sex. Sex. Always based on sex. But the fact it came out of a university when we know who runs and owns and controls the school systems across the entire globe is the elite. And the fact it came out of a university and the fact it came from the opposite gender, which is upside down on its head, because you got to remember, mainstream narrative what society pushes this is a war on women. Well, in reality, it's a war on both genders, with men being the primary victims. The war in the media has always been against men, not women. And you all know this already. Anybody that's got half a lick of common sense in their head or brain in their head knows that. You know, but the thing is, you know, let's go into some topics I really didn't want to dive into, but I'm going to dive into them just because of behaviors of people, what I've seen, what my gut intuition tells me, and because of behaviors, okay? So let's dive into the guy named First. Okay, here comes this guy named First. It was on Monday's live streams, okay? And he shows up on Steve's live streams. He's with Steve. He's well spoken. I'll give him that because he is, okay? He's intelligent. He's not dumb, by no means. He's a lot more awake to what's going on in the world than he let on when he was on Steve shows. Yeah, he is. He's proven that in what little bit of time he's actually talked to me or sent me things. He's proven that without a shadow of a doubt. So he's awake to what's going on around him, okay? But you better remember these things. This guy hated on me and attacked me and hated on me and attacked me on Steve's shows more than one time. More than one time, okay? This guy not only done all that and tried to divide us, which I know he said he was sorry for, but I have problems here, okay? Only reason I have problems here is because of the fact that, first off, when this guy calling himself First was attacking me, I didn't even know the guy. Never done nothing to him in my life, okay? And second off, as I said before, on May 11th of 2019, Steve Hoka did a live stream with First, who was just First and him. First just happened to bring up black men and black dogs. Now that may not mean nothing to anybody, and he did say that during that live stream. But 7-8 months later, when porn's being put into the end of Steve Hoka's shows, the very last porn that was put in, it was only First that was in the live stream with Steve Hoka. Only First, okay? Steve had his settings checked so nobody could share his screen. Porn was still put in. Yep, still put in like as if they hacked his computer. Okay? And the porn, one of them was a black dog and a black guy. Okay? And then there was a voice message across there saying, okay, Bill Greathouse is a simp, okay? Attacking me. Okay? So, you know, and this was on Steve's channel. All of this took place. For real. Now, we turn around and First goes out of his way to divide me and Steve. Thank God for Hayden and thank God for Steve doing the right thing, okay? Didn't happen, right? So, what happens is this. First starts leaving comments. And he leaves comments talking about sarcastically what he does for a living. Who he really is. He does it in a sarcastic manner, knowing he's telling people the real truth right in their face. Okay, because the screen captures that I captured and that Hayden captured that we put together proves one thing, that's not trolling. No. When you really read what was being typed, that is not trolling. And anybody says, well, no, I was just lying and trolling. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. You were pissed off and you pulled the same thing Monday pulled on Harry. Okay? Harry left a comment under Monday's video when Steve had asked Monday openly in a video if Monday would be interested in coming on his live stream. And Harry left a comment a few days later and says, are you ever going to go on Steve Hoka's live streams? Monday's reply was, I'm too busy being a New World Order agent. At this time, nobody even knew who Harry was. He had never been on a live stream with me or anything. No lie. Harry had never even come up in the first live stream with me when this took place. Okay, so the reality is why would somebody answer you that way? Well, obviously Monday already knew who me and Steve was, didn't he? Yeah, of course he did. How could anybody come into the manosphere brand new in the manosphere and not know who me and Steve are? I'll tell you what, there's not many people out here that do not know who me and Steve are. There's just not many at all. Not at all. My name alone went viral all over this world, and so did Steve's, and so did Dwayne Holloway's. Okay, so, nope, I don't buy that. I don't buy that a bit. Okay, he proved he did know who we were. Because sarcastically, that would have been aimed at me, because for the majority of the time, Steve Hoka's been up on the internet, up on YouTube anyhow. Steve Hoka has never talked about NWO topics. You hear Reese, now he's not talking about that. Okay? Other than that, he never talked about it. Steve Hoka's the one that used to criticize me for talking about Rothschilds and Rockefellers even though it's the Rothschilds that own the Federal Reserve of the United States and control our money. Okay? And so, that was just ridiculous because it's just like slamming truth right in the face and denying truth because you don't want to see it. But that was back in the day, okay? So Steve had done that type of stuff. But the point is when it comes right down to the reality of things, first came in here after he made them comments, which is not trolling, and we screen kept them, and I posted up a video. It was first that openly said on Steve's live streams, he don't never go to my channel. He don't watch anything I do, he never has, and he don't go to my channel. So I posted up a video with David Icke at Agenda 21 because I recognized what's coming into society. And first his comments. Within 2 minutes of that premiere of that video going up, first was in that chat box of that premiere attacking me. Now this is the man that don't watch anything I do. And the premiere video had only been up within 2 minutes. There he was attacking me. Okay, so no, don't tell me you don't watch anything I do. It ain't like it was a few hours later and somebody showed it to him or something. Oh no, within 2 minutes that freaking premiere going up, and while we were still playing in premiere, wham, there he was, okay? Then first came in on Saturday Night Live the same week and attacked me again on my stream. And I banned him from my channel. I watched all of his comments go bye-bye and he was gone. Okay, the very next day he was leaving a comment. I was, what? And I'm thinking, no, it's a troll or they got a second account. Yep, could be a second account. I clicked on it. It didn't appear to be a second account. Had the same amount of subs the original account had. So I went to my blocked band, and his name was not on the list. I went through it 3 times. He was not on my list. He had literally unbanned himself from my channel. So I didn't ban him again after that. Nope. So then what he did is I decided to keep my enemies closer than my friends when he kept coming on to my live stream typing he wanted in. He wanted in my live stream. He wanted in my live stream. I had to question it. Should I? And then I thought, well, why not? Might as well keep your enemies closer than your friends. So I brought him in. He came into the show like he was my best friend. He did say he was sorry, but he came in like he was my best friend. He was nothing more than polite and respectful. I'll give him that because he really was, okay? And first thing he did was point out another person in the chat using his name, right? With the same logo. Okay, so, see, Bill, that's a troll. That's not me. Let me tell you something. He was too quick to point that out to me, for one, which is a big red flag. When he was that quick to point that out, that told me that is him. He was typing as he was saying that to me. No, I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday. Okay? So that was so obvious. Plus the fact it doesn't matter because even when he said that was a troll, I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell you a little true story. Because I have experience in this area. Now, even though I'm not that way and would never mimic somebody else's page on YouTube and pretend to be them, that is what a troll does, okay? But you can copy somebody's page to a T. How would I know that? Because one day when Dwayne Howell and I were talking, he sent me a URL that was to Brittany's page. And I said, so what about her? He says, that's not her, that's me. And he sent me another URL, didn't match the other URL he sent me. And it was to Brittany's page again. And you looked at the 2 URLs and they were totally different. So one was Brittany's and one was Dwayne's. But you couldn't tell the difference. He even had all the same videos on the channel in the exact order they were on hers. Boy, you talking about putting a lot of time into creating somebody else's page, a lot of work. To create somebody else's page and mimic it to a T so nobody can tell the difference. And then he was laughing his butt off and says, look, he got an email on that account from somebody that thought they were talking to Brittany and they were talking to Dwayne. See, so when first pointed that out so quick to me like that, that was a big red flag. And because it was mimicking his account don't mean shit to me. Because he pointed it out too damn quick. Okay, and it's one of these situations where maybe they think I don't have experience or know anything about this stuff. So I'm going to tell you this. I have no desire to go there, and I'm going to say this. The comments that were left, okay, in the very live stream, you tried to separate me and Steve, because this is when first started leaving these comments. That's not trolling. And that wasn't a troll. That was first. My intuition and my gut tells me it is. Okay? So at this point in time, see, it's up to first to prove me wrong. I would love to be proved wrong. I really would. Okay? Because I have nothing against apologizing if I'm wrong. But I have seen no evidence to say that I'm wrong. You're going to say, well, you don't have any evidence it was him. I'm going to say I have more evidence than you have that says it ain't. I'm going to tell you that right now. I have more evidence that says it was than it ain't. From the fact that he hated on me in several different shows. Okay? He literally hated on me. For the fact that he attacked me. And for the fact he said black dogs, okay, and black men and black dogs, and that showed up in a porn on Steve's. And then, of course, Steve's live stream, the last one, when he was trolled with porn 3 times, the last one, the only one in the chat was first, and the settings have been changed. Well, that couldn't happen, but then, yes, it could happen. The same way he unblocked himself from my channel. See, if he works for the United Nations, which is the way he's told everybody, chances it's housed in the Google building. What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet? If you could get into the Google building in Silicon Valley, you'll probably find one floor of that building is YouTube, another floor is United Nations, and another floor might even be CIA or military industrial complex, or there could be offices, a combination of both. Guaranteed. And I'll guarantee you, all of the entities in that building have the back door to YouTube. Because after all, they are all in bed together. And then that would explain how that porn got in Steve's show, wouldn't it? So what if Steve had a setting set? It's integrated into YouTube. All he's got to do is go through the back door of YouTube and place it. That's simple. Now, it's up to first to prove me different. I did ask first to take time to talk to me and get to know me. Because if he really took the time to get to know me and I got to know him, I could see he's actually being honest and he's really sincere and he's really means what he's doing and he's not. Blah, blah, blah. And he recognizes what's going on in this world. He'll get the hell out of the career he's in and not be part of it. Then we'd know he was a good person, wouldn't we? But to this day, he hasn't given nobody even a first name. You know my full name. You know I'm William Greathouse, Bill Greathouse. You all know that. I've never hid myself from day one from anybody. And I've never asked for money, ever. And I won't. Because it's not who I am. Even Steve Hoka, excuse me, even Steve Hoka, who don't know his name, he don't give out his first name. We do know he lives in Silicon Valley, in and around that area. We do know that. See, that was thanks to Steve. when I tried telling Steve to make sure to put a backdrop over Zoom, Steve didn't do it, and first was using his cell phone to call into Steve's live stream, VIA through Zoom, and because Steve didn't do what I told him he needed to do, or the number would show up, there was the number. F first caught in, so I backed it back up, paused it, wrote it down, and Googled it. That's how I know the area he lives in. Okay, then I got rid of the number. I had no chance to call him. Why would I do that? No. I did what I needed. Now I had my location. Okay? That's the area of California where hundreds and hundreds of people have fled. That's the area of California you got to have one out. One of mine live there, so maybe he's got a rich mommy and daddy who lives at home. Or just maybe he's working for who he told you he is. And he's making good money. Yeah. So, but still, it don't change anything. I left him a message on Zoom, asked him if he took the time to get to know each other. The only thing I heard from him is he's down with that, and it never materialized, ever. But what did materialize is once I allowed once I allowed first on my show, Steve Hoka came along. Okay, then Steve Hoka came along. Steve Hoka, well, he didn't know the reason I did what I did because he never talked to me, never asked, and never find out. He just thinks, all right, Bill and First are becoming friends. First is a good man, and he ran right back to First. Well, that's his prerogative, okay? I mean, I'm not telling Steve what to do ever. Ever. It's not my job. He's my friend, not my enemy. Okay, but then there's times I even have to question that, don't I? Not through any doings of my own, but through, what did I tell you at the beginning of this video? Through behaviors. Okay? So let's give you some behavior examples of what I'm talking about. I get people every Saturday night coming in here, where's Steve, where's Steve, where's Steve, where's Steve? And these guys are so infatuated with Steve, I swear to God, they got a crush on him. Even when they say, no, I'm not that way, well, the way you beg for him, I would say you are. Sarcastically, of course, because it don't mean you are, but it's insane. Okay? They're basically worshiping his feet. Okay? That's all they're doing. They're down on their knees, worshiping his feet, kissing his feet. Okay? And, and that behavior to me, that's nothing but weakness. Okay? So, but anyhow, these guys come on there, blah, blah, where's Steve, where's Steve, where's Steve? I don't tell people what goes on behind the scenes, but I will tell you this. Steve Hoka's a man that has mood swings. Steve Hoka's a man that whoever piques his fancy at the moment, that's the person he's going to hang with and be friends with. The other friends, well, he necessarily won't be a friend no more, but he'll be a friend. Okay, he just won't have time to talk to them people no more. He'll ignore his phone to them, just like with Mitchell. Or myself. But he thinks I'm stupid and I didn't know he was ignoring his phone. Leave him a message. A lot of times he don't never even answer it. And other times he does an hour later. Other times he's right there. You hear Steve's last streams and you see that he interviewed first. And you see put it up. Now this part, when I say behaviors, is the part that I call funny. Obviously, First has created a second name on Zoom, which you can do. With his account, and has a second name sent over to Steve's account that First is using to do this. Okay? Because First used his cell phone and called into Steve's Zoom, which he could have done that too. Steve went into meeting mode and he uploaded from Zoom onto cloud. Okay, this is what Steve done. But he interviewed first. Then he posted the other video up yesterday where he was talking to him. He's just building First right on up. He's the best speaker, he's the best this, and He's got the most knowledge and information in the dating scene, blah, blah, blah. He hasn't said nothing I didn't already know. I find that funny. He hasn't said anything I already don't know, but he has the most information. He's got the best channel. And we don't pay attention to that neither. This man's already got over 1,000 subs. Just like that. You mean the man that only had 46 subs on his other channel has over 1,000 subs now just like that? Well, if he's working for who I suspect he is, that's not hard to do. You can create your own numbers. You can create your own amount of people in your chat through bots. Who's going to be the wiser? You know, my channel, I watch my subs go down all the time. They go down, then they go back up, and then they go down, and they go back up, and then they go down, and they go back up. And you know, all the other channels, I don't ever see that happening. Oh yeah, when they eliminate people from YouTube, your subs will go down. But on the overall, this has been going on with me for the last 7 years. And I don't notice it happening to anybody else for 7 years. And then we have the fact that after first starting doing live streams once a week, on a regular basis, right behind that, suddenly my channel, live streams only, well, they just happen to take 12 to 18 hours. A 1 hour live stream took 18 hours to show up on my channel. But an hour and a half later, I had the URL to it and could open it up and it played and it said it was public and it was being seen by people from other countries. People in America couldn't see it, but people in other countries could. You know what that means? That means somebody's changed some settings on my account in the back door to make it so that my live streams take that long. This last Saturday night, my OBS studio crashed. I had to bring it back up. I clicked the start and it never started. And I had to go back and do it again. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Then my browser crashed. And I was like, oh, one of these nights. Okay, no big deal, right? But that took over 12 hours to go up. But yet first did a live stream last night and it went up right away again. That's right. See, that's not happening to everybody. How many of you can honestly say without lying that are video content makers without lying, by being really honest, how many of you can say a 2 hour live stream is going to take you 12 to 18 hours to go up? And be hidden from the people in America only. See, that's deliberate. That's no accident. So, of course, that begs to wonder if it ain't first that set that up too, huh? Because he sure hasn't taken the time to talk, to get to know one another, and to show me that he's actually really a good person. I'm not saying he ain't. By no means. But if he's working for the United Nations, then if he agrees with doing the stuff that they're doing, then he's not a good person. It means he's willing to take the Rothschild dynasty's tool, money, and sell out everybody in America and cause many people to have harm done unto them and have no care at all about his own behaviors. See, anybody that anticipates in bringing in Agenda 21 or NWO, because you ain't going to tell me you're working for the United Nations and you ain't helping them. Well, yes, you are. What do you think the sustainable development is? It's all related to Agenda 21, NWO. That's one of the reasons he attacked me so hard when I posted up that video reply at him. He knew what I was showing, and he knows what he's working with, and so do I. Don't mean he don't have the potential to be a good man. By no means. But I'm willing to give bygones to be bygones, okay? And I'm willing to blah, 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 but I don't appreciate the behaviors, okay? I just don't really appreciate the behaviors. And for me, it's like, okay, if you could take the time to talk and get to know me, let time go by, show up on some of my live streams, and really mean it, I could give bygones where bygones at, and I could give him respect, and I could, in time, see. I mean, B's got to be willing to be honest. But right now, nobody even knows the guy's name, but the people that actually know him. First was Deputy Employee Establishment. There ain't a doubt about it. Or not first, but Monday, Forever Alone Monday. There's no doubt about that Monday FA was working for the establishment. Well, it's no different than first. Working for the establishment. I say the establishment because it can be anything from Hollywood to military industrial complex to CIA to the United Nations. Yeah. And we have all these type of people on YouTube right now. The Manosphere was infiltrated quite a while back. Had more than one person working for the system in here. Even when I come online. Who do you think Paul Elam is? He works for the system, the establishment. Who do you think Girls' Rights What is? Works for the system, works for the establishment. So I don't know what to tell you, man. As far as the censorship and taking people down, as Steve Hoka talked about, yeah, it's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised to see everybody that's making personal videos at all wiped off of YouTube. Everybody. NWO related, doesn't matter what the topic is. I think the only thing that's going to be left up when they're said and done will be only people who are speaking mainstream media narrative. That's right. That's where I see this going. It's about shutting people up, is what it's about. But this stuff with my channel and my live streams being held back for 12 to 18 hours, okay, that's not happening to anybody else. And when it's live for people to see overseas, but not live for people in America, that means it's been done out of Silicon Valley. That means it's a deliberate thing. Whether they're sitting at home, working from home for the establishment, they still have the back door to YouTube. They're still employed by them, so it doesn't matter. Okay? But that just shows you that they changed settings on my channel in the back door to cause this to happen to me. And they're smirking under their breath. And if it's first that done that, it wouldn't surprise me. And if it's not first that done it, well, I can only say the guy's never attempted to even try to talk to me on the side. And he hasn't been calling in any of my live streams since he showed up and Steve came running back to him. The only thing Steve better hope is that my intuition about what incel is wrong. Because my intuition and my gut hasn't let me down on this type of stuff yet. Okay? I can make mistakes like anybody else, and I went down a couple rabbit holes over the years in my research, but who hasn't? Anybody that says they haven't is a clown, because they know they have. Just means they're not an honest person, that's all it means. Okay? But if they're an honest person, yeah, we all do. But the reality is anytime it's been my gut telling me something, It's never let me down. And I've had this ability since I was a child. It's just like when Steve Hogan didn't think, no, you can't read body language. You know, and Steve seriously meant it. No, there's no way anybody can read body language to know. Just means Steve doesn't have it in him. That's all that means. I know lots and lots and lots of people who can read body language just as good as me. Okay, and that's not a lie. That's fact. I can read body language, somebody's facial expressions and posture, and know what they're thinking, and be right, off of body language. People tell on themselves with body language all the time. Okay, and I don't know what Steve's problem is. Steve hasn't answered to me. Okay, Steve don't call. You know, so I figured, okay, and I know Steve has always been somebody that likes to pick the people that he's sort of like right now in this time, this is the person I want for a friend. So this guy that's my friend, I'm gonna be with him. I got another friend over here, and I like this friend better than this friend, so I'm gonna ignore this friend's phone calls and not talk to him and not anything. And I'm gonna run to my other friend. And I hate to say that, but that's the truth. You know, I like Steve. I always have. I love the hell out of him. But I also don't put up with bullshit. Okay? So, you know. So to you guys that keep begging for Steve to come into my show, you're on the wrong channel. Steve's his own man. He's going to do what he wants to do, and I'm never going to tell him what to do. I just don't want to see him get caught up in something that could get him locked up. That's why, you know, Harry's words on incel I have to agree with. Incel. In a cell. What happens if 10 years worth of events that was listed in February on the article that came out of Dallas, Texas, the Incel Rebellion, and it was after that that first came up there and was talking about wouldn't it be neat if we had incels fighting on the street every week making mainstream media? Yeah, that was first that said that. And after they listed from 2010 to 2020 of the incel attacks on the public using an actor called Elliot Rogers, who's still alive because it was an act, a script. You know, there's nothing I can say about that crap other than to say it is what it is. Okay? I really don't care one way or the other. I like Steve. I'm not Steve's enemy. But behaviors, you know, it sort of tells people where they stand with what friends they have. When one's behaviors towards a friend is not the way it is towards another friend. And then it flips back and forth. One minute you're good enough to be talked to and answer the phone, the next minute you're not good enough to answer the phone to them. Yeah. You know, it's the same shit that's always going on. It's just in Steve's nature. I mean, Steve's had a very hard life. Okay, he really has. He's had a really hard life. And I feel for him in that manner, but I cannot help those who don't help themselves. But I did notice, don't seem like Steve's going over on the incel matrix, but he is promoting it. I'm not going to get involved in incel because I know where incel came from. It came from the elite. All you got to do is pay attention to the word in that article and you'll realize this came from the elite. This was brought in as a ruse on the manosphere to get people into the incel, and then to push violence and say things that shouldn't be. And then when they use 10 years worth of events, because they always move slow on this stuff, they do it on their time, not yours. And they didn't accidentally, and I've said it a million times already, put Steve Holker's name in the Huffington Post. That was no accident. His name just didn't accidentally get into the Huffington Post behind the Canada run me over. His name got there because he's targeted. Incel was set to target people. In the end, they're going to scare the people out of the manosphere to shut them up. And there'll be some people in a cell, in a prison cell. Yeah, they're literally telling you where you're going to go in the end. So I'm not going to associate with a live stream on Incel. I'm not going to do Incel videos. And I'm not going to associate with that nonsense. First off, from day one, I separated forced loneliness from involuntary celibacy. You can say you're involuntary celibate, but okay, but see, TFL's never been about sex. And involuntary celibate is based on sex. Always has been and always will be. And if your relationship is based on wealth, to get a relationship, you first got to be able to make them naked. See, got things out of order. I've said this before, man. They flipped everything upside down on its head. They destroyed the genders, destroyed the dating scene, and people are out here in the manosphere complaining and whining and using the very tools they gave you to destroy the relationship to get a relationship. They can't figure out why it don't work out, huh? That's men and women alike. What can I say, man? I've been telling people the truth for a long time, especially in the dating scene. I give advice that's real advice. Real advice. I'm the guy that's gotten women in my life after living TFL for a lot of years. I'm the guy that's had TFL in between, but still got women in my life. You know, after 28 years of living it, I finally get a woman in my life. Since that time, I've had, I don't know, 3, 4 women or something like that, maybe 5. Okay, that I've dated and blah, blah, blah. But then I get the people that's never had a woman in their life telling me how it is. How women are. And I laugh at that. I laugh at that. I have a son that I raised, that I got from being with a woman for a lot of years. But yet they know more about women than I do. Yeah, right. Okay. First is correct about what he says in today's society in the dating scene, but it ain't like he's the only one that knows that. I'll tell you that right now. He's not the only one that knows that. First never has been. I mean, you know, he hasn't said nothing I don't already know. But he is a really good speaker. He really is. And he's not a dumb man, not at all. If anybody thinks he's dumb, you got nothing coming, because he's not. Okay, but neither am I. And when people think they can play me, I like to sit back and let them play. And watch them, and laugh at them, and then expose them. So don't play me, because if you play me, you'll find out I actually have more knowledge than you think I have. Okay? And I'm willing to give first a chance if first is willing to actually become real. And take the time to talk to me. And take the time to get to know me. And if he's working for the United Nations, then he knows what he has to do. He has to change careers. Otherwise, he's not a good man. Doesn't matter how smart he is. He's also as dumb as he is smart. Because he's willing for a tool from the Rothschild dynasty to help these people destroy this planet and kill millions and millions and millions and millions of people. And that means he's willing to be involved in that. And if he's not willing to be involved in that for the tool, because you better remember this, the majority of the people who accept money to do what they're doing, okay, when they're all said and done, the elites all said and done got their wants, you'll be on the target list of people to be killed because they can't have you telling people how they done it. It's always happened that way throughout history. Then while you helped kill a bunch of people for them, now they're killing you. Because they're done using you now, idiot. That's what it comes down to. They're done using you. Anyhow, I got really no more to say. This is not an attack on either one of these guys. I'm only telling you my feelings, what I see going on, and what I disapprove of in the behaviors. And that my live streams, right after first started going live and doing regular live streams, and it'd come on my show, suddenly they've gone into the back door of my channel and changed my settings so that my live streams don't go up for many hours afterwards, while theirs goes up right away. Yep. You don't find that fishy? I do. And it can be seen out of the country. You know, I can take the link and I can go over and post it on Facebook, even when it's not on my channel. And people can go to Facebook and watch it. Because it's not that it isn't public. It's being hidden. That's what's going on. 12 to 18 hours my ass, it's being hidden. Because 2-hour live stream, 2.5 hours, 2.5 hours later, I can go there when it's not on my channel, and I can pull the URL and go to Facebook and post it, and there it is. Everybody can see it. Now anybody goes on my Facebook can click on it and watch it. But if they went to my channel, it wouldn't be there. Because it's being hidden. See, that's deliberate. There ain't no accident about that. Okay, but anyhow, I'm going to get on out of here. That's about all I had to say. Don't take it as an attack on either Steve or First. I'm only telling you what I feel, what I see, and why I don't trust. And it's not up to me to correct the trust issue. It's up to First make the first step to correcting the trust issue between the two of us. Because after all, it was him that started it, not me. Okay, so, you know, and until he can take the time to do that, I don't know what to tell you guys. Other than if he's running from getting to know me, then there's probably a reason he's running, huh? And to Steve, well, that's up to him, man. If he wants to go hang out with First and do all these things with First, go for it, Steve. I don't care. Because when the day comes, you get picked up, I'm not going to feel sorry for you, Steve. You know, if what my gut tells me and so is for, you get yourself involved in that and get your ass picked up, I'm not going to feel sorry for you at all. Because it means you're gullible. It means you're easily manipulated. Which isn't good. That's what that would mean. And I don't like to see that, but I'm not going to hide what I feel, okay? It's not an attack against Steve because I told you I like Steve. I always have. But I'm not somebody that picks out what friend I want to hang with. All of my friends are pretty much equal to me. Okay, they can call me pretty much anytime they want and I'll talk to them. Unless I'm busy, okay, then I'll call them back. I don't play favoritism to friends, and I tend to not purposely ignore my friends when they call, okay, and blow them off when they send messages. I tend to not do that type of BS to a friend, okay. That part I really don't appreciate, but that's why I said it's about behaviors. Okay, that's why I said what I said about it's about behaviors. With that, guys, now you know where I stand. So if you're on my live stream, you say, "Where's Steve? Where's Steve?" Go to his channel and ask him. I can't tell you he's not talking to me no more than he's talking to you. With that being said, I'm out of here.